Hello Channel NITT viewers, I am DS your psychologist and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. This is a very special episode because we are going to talk about sex with the ENTJ.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
So regardless of whether you are going to have sex with an ENTJ and want to get to know what to expect, or if you already have regular sex with an ENTJ and wants to know what he is thinking, or you're just curious to know how it feels like to have sex with an ENTJ, then this episode is for you. So many of our viewers who follow this channel will already know that the ENTJ uses TE as their pilot and NI as their co-pilot. SE is their tertiary function. So I am going to discuss the issues surrounding sex with an ENTJ using TE, NI and SE. Of course, again, there is a disclaimer. I am describing sex with the ENTJ male.
Now I know why they call it a happy meal.
Okay, so ENTJs lead by TE, extroverted thinking, and this is their dominant function. So how is TE manifested during sex? So TE can manifest itself in many ways. The first way is the ENTJ might always ask you, how do you feel? Is it nice? So when TE is engaged, the ENTJ wants to know how you are feeling, if you are enjoying the experience. So this feedback is important for him because if you like it, he will give you more of what you want. TE is the ability to think from the other person's point of view. As such, the ENTJ is bound to be very fair. What you do to the ENTJ will also give you in return. So you can expect that in a sexual encounter with the ENTJ, things happen mutually. The ENTJ will give you what you have given him. Sometimes the ENTJ might lead by giving you something first, maybe licking you, and in turn, actually, he does expect you to lick him back. So in a way, the ENTJ is willing to start something first. If you initiate something, the ENTJ is likely to reciprocate. So sex with an ENTJ is not a one-directional thing. The ENTJ is definitely not a dead fish, waiting to be served. However, if the ENTJ behaves like a dead fish, that is not because he is tired, it's because he wants to get it over and done with. Please note this is usually the case. Of course, there are other special circumstances and special exceptions. Next, let's talk about another manifestation of TE. If you are already a very close partner with the ENTJ, which means to say you have known this ENTJ, he's your husband, for like 5, 6, 7 years, you have been having sex all the time, it becomes very usual, boring. Then what may happen is TE may manifest itself in future thinking. So while having sex, the ENTJ may be already thinking, okay, where are we going to eat later? Oh, where is the tissue paper? So a lot of thoughts might be in the mind of the ENTJ, especially when the ENTJ already knows you for a long time. So he may be thinking, okay, are we in time for the next TV show? Something like that. But this is not always true. If the ENTJ is very mentally engaged with you, then you have his thoughts 100%. He just wants to please you, make you feel good. Now let's talk about introverted intuition, NI. So what role does NI play when an ENTJ is having sex? First of all, sex can be a very intellectual process. It is a process for the ENTJ to connect with his lover. In other words, you can also say that the biggest sex organ is actually his mind. So while having sex, NI plays a very huge role because the ENTJ is using his mind to engage with you. So I have a few notes regarding NI when it comes to sex with the ENTJ. First, the ENTJ might not have a full-blown erection. Don't worry, don't disturb him, don't question him, because sex is in the mind more than in the penis. But of course, usually he will have an erection. But if he does not have an erection, he can still perform. Why? Because his biggest sex organ is his mind. So as long as his mind is mentally engaged and wants to have sex with you, okay, the erection may not be there, but it will come. And he can also. Now, sex with an ENTJ can also feel magical. Why? Because sometimes when you want to do something to the ENTJ, like kiss, he just moves forward and is ready to kiss you. It seems like synchronicity. It seems like synchronicity. So in a very weird way, the ENTJ may seem like a mind reader and is able to please. So NI plays a very important role in giving you this magical feeling. Of course, NI can also play other roles. So the ENTJ is definitely capable of imagining doing sex with another person while doing sex with you. In general, I think this also applies to many other NI users. Now let's talk about SE, extroverted sensing. Technically, SE is a very important cognitive function when it comes to sex. However, it is only a tertiary function for the ENTJ. And because of this, I also have many notes for you. First of all, since SE is only the third function, the ENTJ is not very experimental. So he is unlikely to like 50 Shades of Grey. He is very unlikely to try very kinky stuff. However, if you are the one who introduced kinky stuff to the ENTJ, he may be willing to try it, but it is actually quite difficult for him to accept new changes in a sexual routine. He tries it because he wants to please you due to TE. So SE is the 10-year-old child for the ENTJ. So what does this mean? This means that if you are actually engaging in sex with the ENTJ, you might get some very cute stuff happening, some cute talk happening. He might suddenly just talk to you while having sex. And he's not talking about sex, he's just talking about what? Things relating to both of you, or it may be some random other thing. So do not treat this as a turn off. He is trying to communicate with you. At other times, he may be very creative and tell you some very funny stuff relating to sex, such as, honey, do you want to NTUC today? What NTUC? I thought we already went NTUC already? No, NTUC, not to use condoms. So sometimes a lot of rubbish humorous things may come from the ENTJ. Be entertained. So
let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
So besides having a lot of communication while having sex due to TE and SE, there is another thing about the ENTJ while having sex. Don't try to add in noises. Don't turn on the TV, because external stimulation can become too stimulating for the ENTJ and he cannot focus. So SE is not a very strong function for the ENTJ. So do not add in more SE, like external stimulation, like on the TV, on the music, on the lights. And definitely don't use words to encourage him, like, come, yeah. Oh, no. It is very distracting for the ENTJ. This is because he already engages in NI using his imagination, so he's going inwards. Do not pull him outwards, because you are actually pulling him away from his concentration to reach his peak. Well, I hope that this is a very interesting video with regards to the MBTI and ENTJ. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have not subscribed yet, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more ENTJ and more fun videos like this. Okay, I am going to sign off now and I'll see you in my next episode. Goodbye. Okay. Okay, I'm going to sign off now and I'm bring Okay, I'm going to sign off now and I'll see you in my next episode. Goodbye.